Hey boo, welcome to the Forever Feminine, the channel where we turn our life lessons and even those L's into a feminine level up. And today I have a quick question for you. Do you really think that learning to be more feminine can help you create the life you desire? Or do you feel like it's all hype and it's all a hoax? Stay tuned to find out what I think. Alright, so over the last couple of years, the feminine energy and the femininity movement has really taken these YouTube streets by storm. I mean, telling us what to do, what not to do, how to dress, how to act in public, how to present ourselves as feminine women, and the list goes on, right? Now, personally, I am 100% here for this movement, and I do hope that it continues for many years to come. It really does empower women to release the burdens that we've been carrying for decades. And those burdens include things like operating from our wounded feminine space, carrying the world on our shoulders, being the superhero in many relationships that do not serve us, leading with our masculine energy, and just simply reaching a place of complete burnout. Now, if you've fallen into any of these categories over the years, I'm here to motivate you in saying that there's truly power when you make the choice to put yourself first and lead with femininity. But being feminine is not a one-size-all concept, and that's what I wanted to discuss in this video. Because before being feminine can be placed into the box that many of us know as, wearing pink and lipstick and high heels and being super womanly and girly or whatever you want to call it, or soft, it's an energy above all else. It's about the way you choose to express yourself on a regular basis. Now, when you look at the chart that I have here on the screen and you look at the traits of both feminine and masculine energy, the truth is simply that both men and women do have the ability to utilize the traits of each type of energy, right? Relating to feminine and masculine. Now, because of that, you'll find some men who may operate more so in their feminine, or some women who may operate more so in their masculine. But naturally, in most cases, there is more feminine present in women and more masculine present in men, right? But the benefits are really felt most when both parties find a balance that does work best for them. Now, as women, we do naturally thrive better in a space where we are allowed to express our feminine on a regular basis. Now, some of these benefits that we do experience when we do this are simply just a higher quality of life, overall fulfillment, having more confidence, or even just a better form of self-expression throughout life. And we do have to think about the idea that because we are functioning citizens in society, and we do have a responsibility to adult and support ourselves on a regular basis, especially if we're single women. There are times where we have to operate from a more masculine standpoint, like if we're going to work or climbing the corporate ladder or running our businesses. That is a space of masculinity because we have to, kind of not be forceful in a bad way, but we have to make things happen, right? More so than from a feminine or soft space. But we have to learn how to turn that on when we need it and turn it off when we don't need it, because we need to have that balance to help us create a peace of mind. Now, personally, I can witness to this because I grew up with the mentality of, I am independent woman, hear me roar. I wanted to climb the corporate ladder. I didn't want anybody helping me do anything. I got it. I don't need your help. All of these different types of things, until I reached a space and I realized I'm like, this is not benefiting me in any way. It's definitely not benefiting me in my romantic relationships. I'm tired all the time. I am feeling like I'm not getting any help because I turn everybody away when they're offering it. I have a constant RBF all the time, and people are like, well, what's wrong? I'm like, well, I'm fine. But it's that operating from that hard masculine space that was starting to exude from me. But then when I actually, started to cultivate my femininity more and be more soft and more receptive, I realized that the way I was being received was a lot more palatable, and so to speak. And I don't say this just to tell you to cultivate your femininity because you want people to receive you better. It's more so about your personal quality of life and making yourself feel better, having your personal peace of mind and things, because the way you experience life and the way you interact with people really does benefit you in the end. That's really all I'm saying. So keeping that all in mind, you do have to understand that in order to really reap the benefits of a feminine lifestyle, we do have to find a way to incorporate feminine energy into our daily lives, right? And that is going to look different for every woman. Now, being able to elevate your quality of life goes so much further beyond a pair of heels and a cute dress, although it does help. And at the end of the day, you do have to ask yourself, like, what if I'm a woman that doesn't really feel comfortable or even confident wearing that type of attire, right? What happens in that case? So in order to build your personal feminine blueprint, there are 5 pillars that you can start with. And that is simply 1, being creativity, 2, being leading with love, 3, being your life's ambitions, 4, getting comfortable with your sensual side, and finally 5 will be self-care. So let's go ahead and explore them. So number 1, we're going to be talking about creativity. Now, as women at our biological cores, we are natural born creators. Like seriously, y'all, we literally are the portals between the spiritual and the physical. But this creativity can be cultivated in many more ways outside of childbirth. To cultivate and develop your feminine energy, it's important to understand and find something that will allow you to express your creativity. Now, ask yourself, what do I enjoy? And start doing more of that on a daily basis or as much as you can. It can be things like taking up a dance class, learning a new art technique, cooking, styling your fashions, decorating your home. I mean, the list goes on. And who knows? I mean, maybe you cultivating these things could birth a business for you, because that happens a lot of times for women. You know, they say, hey, I love doing this thing. And next thing you know, I have this successful business. So you never know what cultivating your creativity can cultivate for you. So not only this, tapping into your creative side also gives you an outlet of relaxation and escape from those responsibilities that we have to tackle on a day-to-day basis, right? And we all need that balance in order to maintain our mental health, which is a huge responsibility of ours. So we're going to move on to number 2, which is simply leading with love. Now, true love definitely starts with self, and when you practice leading with love from a feminine mindset, it definitely lays the foundation for the love you receive and have the ability to give in your relationships, your friendships, in your working life, and really everywhere in between. Now, this type of self-love is demonstrated, in the way that you set your boundaries, go after what you desire in life, and also in the way that you open yourself up to the good things that life has to offer. If you want to dig a little bit deeper into this strategy, I actually did create a 30-day self-love course, or a self-love challenge, as I like to call it, and it's completely free for you. All you need to do is just click the description box if you want to check it out, and you can go ahead and get started on that. So, number 3 is going to be your life's ambitions. Now, this one is a little bit tricky as it pertains to femininity, because a lot of times people see, going after your goals or being a go-getter or things like that as a masculine trait. And as you remember, we talked about that when we were looking at the feminine both versus masculine traits earlier. Now, I'm going to have to kind of combat this and say, like I said earlier, as women, especially single women or women in general, like there is a balance that we have to have with ourselves as it pertains to having feminine and masculine energy that we pull from. And personally, I feel like when you do chase your ambitions in a soft, creative way, not in like a super forceful way, it contributes to your quality of life. And if you're contributing to your quality of life, that means you're happier, you're experiencing life on a higher level. So is that not feminine? Is that not creative? Is that not also a feminine energy trait? So I feel like you're following me now, right? So in my personal opinion, I feel like ambitions are definitely important as it pertains to feminine energy, because at the end of the day, get to your bag, sis, and stop apologizing for it. Plain and simple. I know women, we definitely still get a lot of slack for being independent or quote unquote modern women. But honestly, like, can somebody please tell me exactly how we're supposed to take care of ourselves if we don't pursue our ambitions. I mean, it is normal adult responsibility to work and earn an honest living, right? So if you don't have a choice but to do this thing, why not completely seize the opportunity? It's just like we talked about with the being creative aspect. One of the common traits of femininity is being able to express yourself freely, and one of the ways we express ourselves is through our career paths. Simple. That's what I was trying to convey earlier in this conversation. Now, you being feminine and successful does not take away from your ability to use that same femininity in a relationship or a household if that's what you desire. Get clear about your ambitions and go after it unapologetically, because above all else, you owe it to yourself to succeed and be happy. Don't forget that. Now, next up on the list, we have sensuality. This one is one of my favorites, honestly, because when you get comfortable tapping into your sensual side, it definitely increases your magnetic energy. That's where that energy of femininity that we talked about earlier comes from, really, because it puts you in a space to feel more confident about yourself. And that confidence is literally felt in every room you walk into. It's an essence. It's something that cannot be explained, right? So sensuality can be expressed through movement, intentional meditation, self-exploration, intimacy, and the list goes on. But you can even include sensual habits in your daily routine, like even things like developing a signature fragrance, wearing lingerie more often, or even paying more attention to softer fabrics like silk, satin, cashmere, paying attention to the types of pajamas you put on or the types of attire you put on for work or what have you, being more intentional about those things and making it a more sensual experience. And most importantly, when you tap into your sensuality, it allows you to get connected to your softer, more receptive side. And, being open to accepting gifts, help, compliments, and all of those things. That is what continues to help you create that energy and that essence of femininity that we just love to boast about so much, right? Because at the end of the day, you can be a boss chick who knows her value and her power and sensuality at the same time. They can coexist. Don't let anybody tell you any different. I mean, think about some of the women from our present generation who are able to effortlessly balance beautifully between their many facets of maybe motherhood or being a mogul and her sensuality, with ease. They can just flow between all of those different facets of themselves. And, even the women from our past, and that they're some of the ones that I really admire because they just exuded femininity with essence, and they were really able to do the same. So there's inspiration everywhere, boo, like literally everywhere. Use it and create a sensual vibe that works specifically for you. All right, so we're moving on to the last tip, which is simply self-care. Now, this is also a very, very important one, and it's also something that we can utilize on a day-to-day basis because it is so important. Now, I believe that every person should have a self-care routine, but when you're on a feminine journey, this is simply a non-negotiable because it helps you balance that day-to-day life and the living of your life the way that you desire it to, right? So as women, we are constantly being told what we should do and what we shouldn't be doing. So when we do make the bold decision to live our life on our own terms and leading with femininity, it's important to care for yourself and why you do the things you do on a day-to-day basis. You can do this simply through developing a daily journal routine, scheduling regular beauty services, going to therapy. That's a very, very important one. Improving your wellness, practicing healthy communication. And I mean, the list goes on. You can find the things that bring you peace, find the things that bring you relaxation and try to find, even if it's 5 to 10 minutes a day, and incorporate that into your day-to-day routine. And even if you need a little inspiration, I like to kind of binge watch those get ready with me videos that you see all the time on YouTube, like, oh, get ready with me in the morning, or get unready with me, or my morning routine, or my nighttime routine, or whatever it is. I love those videos because they're so beautifully crafted by a lot of the creators that make them. And it really gives you so much inspiration. Like, you just feel like you just want to get up and clean your house or whatever the video may be encouraging to do. So I do recommend checking some of those out. And then, like I mentioned before, there's inspiration everywhere. So utilize that information that you may find even from this video on YouTube or Pinterest or Instagram or what have you. There's so much inspiration everywhere for you, boo, for you to really like sit down and create your beautifully crafted feminine blueprint. And I really hope that this video helped to kind of get your wheels turning as the new year comes upon us, and just really see like, hey, what can I do for my life? How can I look at my life, change it around, make myself available to open myself up more to femininity? And how would opening myself up to that feminine change my life? So that's a little bit of a challenge that I have for you after watching this video. And chime in the comment section below if you have any additional tips that help you feel more feminine or be more feminine in your own way. And we'd love to hear them. I'd love to chime in. Or even if you just want to comment down below and say hello, feel free to do that as well. But before you go, don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for the next video. But until then, always keep it fancy, keep it fabulous, and always forever feminine. Later, boos. Bye.